So thanks everyone so much for joining us. This Bates Bridge webinar. Purposeful Work is really excited to have you here. So my name is Rachel Forcillo and I graduated in 2018 and work at the Center for Purposeful Work as the marketing coordinator and graphic designer. And I'm here with my two colleagues, Amy Jaffe and Sheila Anderson. So I'll throw it over to Amy and let her introduce herself.
Thank you, Rachel. My name is Amy Jaffe. I'm Senior Associate Director for the Center for Purposeful Work, and I've been involved with this Bates Bridge project for at least the past year, working on implementing this very exciting tool, and I'm really happy to have you here today.
I'm Sheila Anderson, Associate Director of Operations Marketing and Outreach for the Center of Purposeful Work, and I am excited to launch Bates Bridge out to students. It's been exciting to roll it out with alumni in partnership with Advancement, and let's take it away.
Awesome. So in this chat feature at the bottom, you can feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar, and Sheila is the question master, so she'll monitor those, and I'll pause at multiple points and make sure that we are answering questions as we go along. And this is also being recorded, so we'll put this up on Handshake and our website after this. So if you miss something or want to rewatch a specific part, you can go back and do that. And then also you can email us at the end with questions at either bridge.bates.edu or purposefulwork@bates.edu, and we'll put those in the chat at the very end, so you'll have those two email addresses to reach out to us at. So I'll do just a quick intro to Bates Bridge. So it's our brand new online platform to connect students, so you, with alumni, as well as to connect alumni to other alumni. And you can kind of think about it as a specialized internal LinkedIn just for Batesies, in the sense that you have a profile and you can see other people's profiles. But it's way better than LinkedIn, and we will show you why during this webinar. And little history, we've been beta testing this with about 40 students and alums starting last summer all the way through the fall, and then launched to alums in January, and have over close to 600 alumni signed up and close to 300 students signed up at this point, and alums are signing up every single day. So if you are, after this webinar, you're looking on Bates Bridge, you're browsing, and you wish there were a few more people that you were interested in connecting with, just keep in mind that there are literally new alums signing up every week. So just keep checking back, and we're continuing our launch out to them. So Bates Bridge is cool because it's user driven. So alumni, it's not a recruiting platform, so alums can't see students. If you as a student choose to connect with an alum, then that alum can view your profile and see everything that you have loaded on. But until you do that, your privacy is protected. And you also cannot see other students, and other students can't see you. But you are able to see all the alumni. And I think at this point, I'm going to share my screen, and you can I'm going to show you how to create your student profile. If you have your laptop open and you want to do that along with us, that's kind of what we've designed this for. But if you also just want to watch and look to see, kind of get a feel for Bates Bridge, you can do that too. So I'm going to share my screen. And let's see. One second. Okay. Great. So what you are going to do is type in bridge.bates.edu into your browser. I'll also share that in the Zoom chat. Sorry.
You can also connect to this site from the Purposeful Works website.
Yes. And then once you do that, it will take you to this homepage, and you can click on Join Our Community, and then this red button, Bates Student Log, and that's what you will click on to sign in with your single sign-on Bates credentials. So because I'm already signed on as an alum, I'm not going to actually do this with you, but I am going to, we have a PowerPoint to show you, take you through the steps so we can kind of mirror the steps that you'll take. So once you click on join as a student, it'll bring you here, enter your Bates username and password, and then you can type your name, your Bates email, and then make sure that you click you're joining as a student. Click verify account, and that you might be taken then to like your Duo authentication through Bates. Here, type in Bates. You can type in your majors if you're a first year and you don't have a first year or a sophomore and you haven't declared a major yet, that's fine. And then here, this will be Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science, and then your projected graduation year. So these next couple of parts will, you'll just fill out some more information about yourself that will then be populated into your profile so that Batesbridge will know how to match you to certain alumni, or I guess suggest alumni to you that kind of match your interests that you filled out here. So you can put in your clubs, if you were on a club team or a varsity team, any on-campus activities that you were involved in, on-campus job. Here, this is totally optional. When I was doing a practice one of these with my friend Nate, who is a Bates alum, yesterday, and he brought up a good question and asked if Batesbridge has an app. It does not. So there's no app. You can't download it, and you wouldn't get push notifications. So these text SMS notifications could kind of like act as those push notifications if you want to get notified when you have new messages or new upcoming meetings. So totally up to you. You can choose whether or not to plop your phone number in there. Then you can draw or type your signature. And now you're signed up. So these are some more helpful matching questions that you can put anything that you would like to talk about in here. Learn about more industries. You can kind of cast a wide net. If you're interested in a lot of different things, feel free to put them all in here. There's no limit. And this location feature is pretty cool. So if you're a senior and maybe thinking about a few cities that you may be interested in exploring or moving to, you could put these here. Also, if you currently live in a certain city, obviously in-person connections are going to be limited at this time, but for the future, if you wanted to meet with someone in person, this is a good way to kind of narrow that down. And now your brief bio. So This one is great. I'm a student at Bates College studying English and philosophy. I'm interested in blank, maybe marketing and journalism, and enjoy running and hiking in my free time, or whatever you think is relevant that you want to share with people. Okay, so now I'm going to go actually on to Batesbridge. Let's see.
I think it's important to note that students can change their answers to those questions whenever they like. So if you're not sure about what industries you're exploring and you might skip that question, or maybe at one point you were interested in a certain location, but now that's changed, you can adjust those answers, and that will actually adjust the matching criteria so that Batesbridge will actually suggest new alumni for you to connect with based on your updated answers.
Yes, great point, Amy. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sign in. All right, awesome. So I'm now going to show you how to complete your profile. You'll see that I'm, as a student right now, even though I'm technically an alum / also a faculty or a staff member, but I'm in the student view just so you guys can see that, how that looks. So this is what your profile will look like. And the first thing we'll do is upload our photo. So you can click on this little pencil icon and then click on, this probably will be a blank spot. And I would recommend uploading a JPEG from your desktop or somewhere on your computer. Even though it gives you these Facebook and Instagram options, the people that I've seen that have uploaded their photos in like directly from Facebook or directly from Instagram, they've been a little bit warped. So either like stretched or compressed. So just, you don't need to upload a photo right now if you don't have one, but that would be the way to do it with a JPEG from your desktop.
And just like using LinkedIn, it is highly recommended to include a photo in your profile. It actually increases the number of connections. We make this recommendation to alumni as well, that they include a photo. Because wouldn't you rather reach out to an alum who has a photo? You can get a sense of what their smile looks like, their friendly, welcoming demeanor, as opposed to just a missing photo. And so we recommend that students do the same. Always include a photo if you can.
Yes, definitely. Just makes it more like personal and approachable. So here, kind of similar to what you did in that initial creating your profile part, you could say student or maybe your grade, first year at Bates College, studying English and philosophy, interested in marketing and journalism, or something to that extent, to just give people a sense of what you're currently doing at Bates and then what you may be interested in exploring in the future. This location part, you could put that as Bates College in Lewiston, Maine, or you could do your hometown. It's really up to you. There's no right or wrong answer. Then go ahead and click save. So now I will show you how to import your LinkedIn profile. It's actually really easy. This, again, is optional if you have an updated, I would only recommend this option if you have an updated LinkedIn profile. If you don't, you can pre-populate your experience directly from this page, or you could go to your LinkedIn profile, update it, and then take this step. So when you're ready, click Import LinkedIn Profile right here at the top. Will bring you to LinkedIn, and then press sign in. This usually takes a little while. So now you'll see populated my bio exactly from LinkedIn, as well as my current and past experience, even though I have more detail under each of these experiences in LinkedIn, it just takes the headings from them. So you can choose to go and edit these to write a description of what you did in this particular role. And then click save.
And if you don't have a LinkedIn profile yet, the Center for Purposeful Work is offering a workshop next week on creating a LinkedIn profile and using LinkedIn as a search tool. So, and that will be recorded as well. So we will be offering that soon.
I think Tuesday at noon.
Tuesday at noon, next Tuesday at noon. Great plug. Okay, so now we're gonna go to, let's see, the home page. And so this will have a couple recommended connections right up here at the top based on the things that you entered into your profile and based on what alumni have done as well. And you can also, if one person in particular looks really interesting, you can bookmark them. And then they'll show up on your recent bookmarks page that you can always come back to on this homepage. Now click Explore the Community. And if there's a particular person that you know already that you want to search for, you could type in their name here. You can also search by alums' majors, their current location. So let's see. I will type in, because I was a psychology major, I'll type in psychology. And if you hover over anyone's information, you can see the expanded text from that. Yep, so you can see Taryn, 2018, psychology and French and Francophone studies. And yeah, so there's quite a few psych majors up here. Oh my gosh, I haven't even looked at all of these yet. So that is cool. And let's see, you can also pile searches on top of each other. So let's see, if I wanted to search just for psychology majors in, let's say, Boston, New York, and I'll do San Francisco. I'll do Portland, Maine too, just because that's where I actually live. So now you see we have Boston, we have New York, we have Connecticut. Interesting, probably because that's kind of outside of New York. We have Portland, Maine, San Francisco. Awesome. And I will clear these fields now. Oh, yep, so it's within a 20-mile radius of that location. So I love this part right here. There's a ton of different industry expertise boxes. So again, you could select just one or maybe multiple. I'll do marketing, nonprofit, and publishing. And click apply. Let's see, I'll do clear. Okay, great. So you can see what that search result yielded to. And click clear. So these help topics are also really, really helpful. So this is what alumni fill out as things that they would be willing to talk to students or other alumni about. So let's see, let's click on Yami, her profile, and you can see that she has a bunch of different help topics that she selected for herself. So career exploration, major to career, fellowship advice, Latinx descent identity conversations, low socioeconomic status identity conversations. She has a ton up here. So I think that is typical. Most alumni do select a bunch. So maybe we'll do art, design, industry experience, and then I'll search a help topic of career exploration. And so, awesome. We've got some people in here. I'll clear these. And then another thing you can search by is activities that you were involved in on campus. Let's do Bates Outing Club and Bollywood. So now we're going to get, because we didn't narrow by industry, we're going to get all those people who are involved in either of those things. You can also do varsity club or sports. Let's check out swimming, and we'll do water polo too. Yeah, so this is cool. You can see that even young alums have signed up. So Alex literally just graduated in 2019 and he's already on Bates Bridge. Zach is another 2019 grad. So is Xavier. So there's all years of alumni on Bates Bridge already, which is awesome.
Dating back as far as 1953, as a matter of fact.
Aha, yes. So lots of wisdom on Bates Bridge. And you can also search on campus job as well. And that's a pretty thorough exploration of the Explore the Community page.
And Rachel, I just wanted to add that these search filters will allow a student to find something in common with these alumni. So just the connection of having gone to Bates is actually a very strong connection in and of itself. But what we love about this tool is it allows you to find other commonalities with the alumni that you could connect with them on as sort of an opening to a conversation. Oh, you were on the swim team, so am I. Let's talk about that. Like really, you can really form a bond over some of those shared Bates experiences that can then lead to a really meaningful conversation about career exploration or work-life balance or some of the more professional topics that you want to get to. But sometimes it's really nice to establish that that friendly connection first and then ask those more heavy-hitting questions.
Absolutely. So then I'll show you how to actually connect with an alum. So great segue. Oops, let's see. Oh, whoops, I'm still on swim, I think. So I'm going to clear this. So if I found Nate in here, and I could say, let's connect. So this is one of my favorite features of Batesbridge is that it has all of these templates. So for students, it has these three. For alumni, it has slightly different templates. So this networking advice one, would you mind sharing your thoughts on networking? I really like this career exploration one. This pre-populates their current job position in here. So if you wanted to, you could just use this exact template and click send. You could also personalize it or modify it. If you're messaging someone that you already know, it might be a little bit more familiar or personal. So you could either send this message with just the text of the message, or if you also wanted to request a meeting, click this text request a meeting here. And you could, we recommend selecting a couple different dates and times, just so that person then has a few different options to choose from. You're just more likely to have success scheduling a meeting if you give that person a few different options. So let's say phone call. And we also recommend that your first meeting, you have a 30-minute, or you suggest a 30-minute time frame. So let's see, I could do Tuesday, April 14th at 2 p.m. and make sure you're in your correct time zone too. And if the person that you are wanting to meet with is in a different time zone, just be cognizant of that as well. But we are in Eastern Standard Time right now. So then you can also select, let's see, let's do the 15th and the 17th as well. Maybe you want to do 2 p.m. again. Maybe we'll do noon for this one. Yeah, good question. So there was just a question that came up from Beverly. Is there an expectation for how far in advance we can ask alumni to meet? Should we give a certain amount of time to wait for a response? So yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I guess next week would probably be a little soon, potentially. Amy and Sheila, what do you think about how long or how far in advance to request a meeting time?
Good question. I think it's important to remember that the people who are participating in this tool are busy professionals. We're also all experiencing some very unusual life circumstances, so it's really important to be sensitive to the situation that we're in. And with that said, these are all people who really do want to help and have indicated that they're available to meet with students. So I would sort of balance your request, sort of considering all those things. I would go with something that's 10 days to 2 to 3 weeks out from now. Give people, I wouldn't do something tomorrow, but I would suggest something at the end of next week or the following week. Give some people some time to check their calendar, fit this in. But then also realistically, not too far out, not next month either. So somewhere between, I guess I'm 1 to 3 weeks from now makes a lot of sense. There is a mechanism within this tool that will remind alumni that you have asked them for a meeting. And there are also other prompts that will remind you about the meeting. So what's very nice about this tool is that the mechanisms are built in. You don't have to worry about following up about your meeting. The tool will take care of that for you.
Yes, which is so nice. Yeah, so I guess 1 week in advance, that might be okay. And like Amy said, any time from 1 week to 3 weeks. So then I'm not actually going to press this, but you would then click request a meeting. And I, let's see, okay, cancel message. So then the alum will get that request, and you will be able to go into your messages, and see that they accepted. So this was yesterday when I was testing this out with Nate. And first I sent him a networking message, or I guess a career exploration message. Then I scheduled a 30-minute phone call meeting with him for Wednesday, April 8th. Also, this other feature is call me when the meeting starts. So if you want to put your phone number in here, this is great. So you don't actually have to exchange your phone number with the alum and do any of that planning, like, oh, will you call me or will I call you? You'll actually, if you both put your phone number in here, you will both get a call at the time that you've scheduled that meeting from Palo Alto, California, which is where People Grove is based, the platform that runs Bates Bridge. So then you will pick up. I tested this with my other friend on Friday, and it says, you are about to enter a phone call with Callie Reynolds, class of 2018. Press 1 to enter. So it gives you a little refresher on who you're about to talk to, and then you can press 1, and then they'll be on the other side of the call. So that's a cool feature. I would suggest using that. You don't have to if you've already exchanged contact information, but I used it and really liked it. So yeah, and then so I scheduled this meeting. He accepted, and then you can check. I also This automatically links to your Google Calendar account if you signed up with, well, you will sign up with your Bates single sign-on, so that will link to your Google Calendar. And so then this actually shows up on my Google Calendar as meeting Rachel and Nate via phone call. And you can see it's created by me, but People Grove. So that is really nice. It just pops right on your calendar once that alum accepts your meeting. Great. So I'm now going to turn it over to Amy, and she will talk about how to prepare for a meeting.
Thanks, Rachel. Right. So once you have something scheduled with an alum, it's time to think about how that conversation is actually going to go. So I think an important place to start is to think about why you're even doing this. I think that in some cases, students may actually be conducting job searches or internship searches, and they're actually wanting to network within the Bates community to find out about opportunities. And in other cases, you may be just wanting to learn about professional pathways, professional choices that people have made, get some advice for someone in a major like yours. And we call this exploration. This is a different reason for networking or connecting with people. Either one is actually a pretty, would be typical of typical reasons why a student would engage on Bates Bridge and connect with an alum. So you might want to just get clear, what are you doing? Are you learning about someone's career path and their story so you can, is part of your exploration, or are you actually trying to identify opportunities that you want to apply to? Once you know that, that can actually help you plan out your questions. So I strongly recommend preparing for this by thinking about the questions that you're going to ask them. And that's important to note. This is called informational interviewing, but it's not an interview. It's not a job interview where they are asking you questions. It's actually a meeting that you've initiated that you're going to take the lead on, and you're going to be the one with the questions prepared. So one area to consider starting with is just learning about their background. And I have a few questions I'd suggest to start with. Tell me about your background and your career path. Real open-ended question. It would be really nice to hear the story of their time from Bates to where they are now. How did you get started? What do you like best about your career? And how did Bates help you prepare for this path? So that's real open-ended. Anyone in exploration or a search with a search goal in mind could start in this place. Next, you might want to learn about a typical day, about what their occupation is actually, what they're actually trying to accomplish with their career, with their work, and what skills they're using in their work, and then what a typical path is. These would be questions that are actually more common in the exploration phase. You're really trying to learn, what does it mean to be in marketing? What's that all about? What are you doing every day? These might be questions that you would ask after you've read some information on a tool that we offer through Handshake called Vault. Maybe you've learned some basics about the industry, but now you want to hear from a person. What is it like to work in this field? What is this occupation all about? Now, if you're actually learning and inquiring about how to get a job in this field, you might then ask, how did you enter this field? What are the best ways to enter this field? And what are the typical entry-level jobs in this field? Notice, I'm not suggesting that you say, how can I get a job in this field? It's generally, how does one enter this field? How did you get into this field? What is a typical way of entering this field? Right? And it's really important to not ask directly for a job. It may lead to a recommendation from them for how to get a job, but it's important not to be direct in that question. And finally, I think it's really nice to ask more open-ended questions. What advice do you have for me? If someone who's interested in this field, where might I fit in? This is a really nice way of saying, I'm interested in this, but what would you suggest I do next if I'm interested? I love asking, what do you recommend I do next? If I am interested in this, what do you recommend I do to gain experience, skills? Is there any volunteer work? Are there any professional associations? What classes would you suggest I take if I'm really interested in this path? And then really important to always ask, based on our conversation today, who else do you think I should talk to? Is there someone else who might be able to help me learn more about this field, learn more about your company, tell me more about that job that you mentioned, and then ask for permission, or even better, ask for them to introduce you to that person so you can do this once again with another person, have another informational interview to learn a little more information. And then I would always conclude with a great deal of appreciation for the information they shared with you and advice. And I would also suggest that you make a plan with them to stay in touch. And that's a really important part of this, although the Bates Bridge tool has created this really nice technical connection for you. What you're really doing here is forming a relationship with someone, and you've had a meaningful conversation. They've given you some really nice advice, and I would think about how you might follow up with them to give something back to them. Share an article with them, share a resource with them, or share just an update with them, because this is ultimately human connection here, and we want you to kind of build upon these relationships that you're making through the tool.
You can, if you want to write a thank you note directly in this, your communication that you've already had with them through Bates Bridge, this is a perfectly appropriate place to follow up and say thank you. If you've also gotten their email address and been communicating outside of the platform, you can do that as well. But yes, really, really important to send a thank you and kind of keep them updated, because they're probably interested in what's next for you, because they've been a part of helping you along your exploration journey. So I think now we're going to dive into some of the resources on Bates Bridge, which Sheila is an expert at, and has really been an integral person in building out all of these. So I'll let Sheila talk a little bit about these.
Thank you, Rachel. So under the resources, you'll see that there's 4 sub-tabs. The first being articles, which is the tab that we're currently on. We have the ability to share news articles from all sorts of sources. The very top one, that job search during the coronavirus, happens to be from Vault, who offers a subscription that Bates subscribes to for guides learning about different industries and pathways. And then the 5 ways to boost your career through targeted reflection is actually an article that Rebecca Fraser-Thill just wrote in Forbes magazine. There's lots of these listed out, so please dig in and explore. Some written by even our very own Amy Jaffe. And next is Purposeful Work resources. So in here we have our trusty Purposeful Work guides of resumes and cover letters and making connections. These will be updated over time, and more articles and resources from Purposeful Work will be added. So keep checking back in here as well. Videos, we have some great content of current students talking about their experiences this past summer, as well as alumni that have come to campus for various reasons to explain what they are doing now and how their paths have taken them throughout their lives and careers. Finally, the podcasts. We have a handful of podcasts in here, some including the Bates Bobcast, but the Bates Bobcast podcast, that's a tongue twister. So please check these out. And then finally FAQs, which is on the outside of the platform as well. So if you have questions about how this platform functions for students or alumni, or what our general goals for this platform are, all of that information can be found in the FAQs. And also under that FAQ section was, if at any point in time, yeah, can you hit back, Rach? Thanks. Yeah, if there's any concerns in the platform, you're feeling uncomfortable, you've had a strange conversation, you need to reach out, please reach out to the Center for Purposeful Work, and we will work with students and alumni to address any concerns.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thank you.
So the last thing that we'll show you how to do is how to share Bates Bridge with your friends. So you could send an email to your friends, or what I've been doing is just copying this referral link and then just bringing up my text messages and then just plopping it in and sharing this. And this is what it looks like. So it's really nice platform. This is Talia from 2018 as well. So that's a really easy way to share out this. And you can also, if you know alumni that that you're close with and want to get them on Bates Bridge, feel free to share with your student friends and your alumni friends. or if your parent is a Bates alum or anyone else. So yeah, I think that is everything that we have. And now we'll open it up to questions.
While we're waiting, feel free, if you have questions, please enter them in the chat. While we're waiting for questions to come through, I wanted to mention that alumni have access to this tool as both people who are offering advice and also if they're seeking advice. So alumni have the opportunity to use this tool in the same way students do in terms of finding people in different industries, locations, organizations, and reaching out. So alumni to alumni contact is happening, as is student to alumni. But I also want to make sure it's important to know that alumni are not reaching out to students. So this is, as Rachel mentioned early on, this is a user-driven platform, and it's not a recruitment platform. So there is not going to be any alum reaching out to say, I want to talk with you, your skill set looks like a good fit for my company. We really use Handshake as our tool for posting jobs and internships. And whenever we hear about an alum who has an opportunity, that's where we're going to share that. So all students have access to that opportunity. This is more of that networking and a place to build relationships and explore career paths.
A couple questions came in asking about how many alumni students can reach out to. It's unlimited. And can you use this and LinkedIn as well? And we strongly recommend that you do, because you'll want to do research on not only the alum, but on the employer, perhaps that they're working for, or the organization that you are interested in speaking about. So definitely in partnership would be a great recommendation.
I'll also add that when alumni sign up to use this tool, they can indicate how many networking meetings they are available for every month. And so they can set that limit for their own participation. Students have, it's unlimited how many people you reach out to. And really, we encourage you to explore and not feel confined to any certain industry or major, or really feel free to explore that community because these are hundreds of helpful alumni who are here and available to you.
Another question, does it matter what year you are to reach out, even if you are undecided? It does not matter what year you are. If you're a first year and you have no idea what you want to major in, maybe this is a good time to, a few majors that you're interested in, you could search those, you could type those majors into the filters and then see people who majored in economics and biology and English, and then you could ask those alums, how they chose their major and how they've found that their major has served them throughout their career. And so I think it's a really great, Bates Bridge is a great platform that applies to students of all grades.
The other great thing about the privacy on Bates Bridge is you can look at any alum's account, and that alum's not going to receive any notification that you've looked at them. So if I look at one person one time or 60 times, they're not going to have any idea that I'm doing that as a student or as an alum, for that matter.
We have another question. Can we ask alumni to review resumes?
So the tool doesn't necessarily have a mechanism built into it to do resume reviews. But I think that reviewing a resume or talking about how you're presenting yourself in your application materials could certainly be a topic that you discuss with an alum. So I see that as a step that comes a little bit later after an initial conversation. The alum might ask to look at your resume. You might ask for some help formatting your resume. But I would say that's really only if it makes sense in the context of the conversation you're having with the alum. And it wouldn't be something I would expect every alum is necessarily willing to do. Our office can help you review your resume. That's a big part of what the Center for Purposeful Work does. So I would say let us help you with that, and then talk with the alum more about career path, advice, industry information, and focus on that in your conversations.
I'd like to tag on to what Amy mentioned about the alumni being able to adjust the number of times they can be contacted in a month. So if you reach out, and you won't be able to tell if an alum, let's say Rachel has set it for only 2 students to be able to contact her, you can't tell if she's already been contacted twice. And therefore, however, when you reach out to Rachel, the system will email you back and say, Rachel's already booked for this month. We'll notify you when she's free again. And then at the start of the new month, you'll get an email notification that says, Rachel's free. You can feel free and reach out. And then you can go back into Bates Bridge and make that connection.
Well, I guess if there aren't any more questions, we can probably wrap up. And we are available for questions via email. As mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, Rachel mentioned that there's an email address specifically about Bates Bridge. It's bridge.bates.edu, and you can always contact us at the Center for Purposeful Work at bates.edu also.
Yes, thanks everyone so much for joining, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.